Cheers, everyone. It is, what is it? It's the beginning of September, which means we are headed into autumn, and this is my power season, and probably your power season too, if you're watching this, and you consider yourself any kind of cool witchy cat. Before I get into it, I got this tea from Golden Moon Tea, jasmine pearls. It's so good. Jasmine pearls are like jasmine and green tea, and it's florally, but if you like jasmine green tea, this is primo for sure. Guess what? We've reached 275 subscribers, so I'm going to be pulling a giveaway name at the end of this video. But before we get there, I want to, hold on, I gotta flip the dog. So this is for those of you out there who have a strong sense of inner vision already. You know, once you're sort of at a place where you can, if you have an inner vision, because some of us don't, but I'm specifically going to be talking about inner vision symbology that comes to us as we meditate, as we do guided visualization, as we do intuitive readings for people. Once you sort of get past the point of like, I don't have an inner vision, or how do I access my inner vision, then we move on to, but how do I interpret what I'm seeing or feeling? Because there's other ways that we get information too. There's sort of some research that has to go into interpretation of symbols, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to go about looking at those symbols and figuring out what they mean. So I have about 6 tips. So once you start seeing stuff, once you realize, oh, there's this like tape going on sort of in the background at any given time, and I can tap into it at any given time, the first thing to kind of look at is, what are you feeling along with the symbols? Is it a good feeling, a bad feeling, a cozy feeling, a confused feeling? Is it excited? Is it dramatic? Is it sad? So just looking at the feelings that come along with the symbology that's being presented to you. When we get our symbols, we're not interpreting them literally. Here's an example. I gave an intuitive reading to somebody, and it was a blind question, and the image I got was of him in the middle of New York City, like running really hard but in place. And I got these sort of like flashes, like the energy about the image that I got was very like cutty and flashy. And I got an image of his shoes specifically. His shoes had like these slashes on them, like this flashy, slashy kind of energy. Had I sort of interpreted that literally, it would have been like, oh, you're gonna find yourself in New York City, there's gonna be a lot of energy around you, and you are, you're gonna be wearing sneakers in the city, and you're gonna be working towards something really hard. Something like that, right? That would be a wrong reading of that. This brings me to the next tip, which is, what do you associate with the symbols in your mind? Because my association with New York is drama, like high intensity, a little exciting. So maybe not a little exciting, excitement. So excitement, drama, intense. So that's how I pull or extract what the symbol is telling me. My reading was, oh, you're in a situation that is really intense, you can't seem to move, you're stuck in one place, but there's a lot of drama surrounding this, and you don't know what decision to make yet or next. And then I described the shoes because that seemed important, because I saw the shoes. So the feedback I got back after that was like, oh, because it was a blind question, I didn't know what he was referring to, but it was a relationship that he was in. So it described the relationship perfectly, and just the tip on the iceberg, he's like, I have those shoes. Your symbols are gonna be different because you have different associations with things. So when information is coming to you, it's your sort of like, it's your It's your responsibility to kind of figure out what your symbols are telling you. And you can do that by tapping into your feelings. It's pretty straightforward. Another way you could kind of approach it is if you're into dream work and you're into like dream symbology, you can approach it like that. Be a little bit careful about looking at those like dictionaries that tell you, oh, you know, a house means your foundation or your structure of your life or whatever that is. While that can be helpful to sort of point you in the right direction, it's always best to come back to what is your psyche telling you in the given moment. Tip number 4 is sometimes we can get a little bit lost or confused. So we're in the experience of gathering the symbols, right? And trying to interpret it. It can be a little bit confusing if we lose sight of our intention. So if you happen to know what the question is that you're intuitively giving information for, always anchor yourself back to the intention or the question, because that will help sort of narrow things down so you don't feel so wide about the interpretation. Next, we also have ego interpretations to deal with. So if you're interpreting information for somebody and it feels like one of your own perspectives, I guess is a good word, then, oh, the dog. Okay, I hope you can't hear him. Oh, he's so distracting. Hold on. I gave a reading once to a woman, and it was wrong. While the symbols in my mind were correct, the way that I interpreted it was the way that I interpreted it was incorrect. And it was because I was coming from a place of one of my sort of like my own personal interpretations that was not helpful popped up. She was sitting in front of me with her back towards me, and I noticed as I was pulling in information, I noticed that her back was in front of me, and so I included that information because everything is grist for the mill in my reading, which was not helpful actually. And the reason that it wasn't helpful was because it was negative. I have a thing, you know, of being ignored, not heard, not listened to. Those are some of my own personal things that are my own triggers, right, in life as a human being. That is what crept up into the reading and actually had nothing to do with the reading, but my own personal egoic interpretation of what was coming up for me. So I got confused between information that I was getting, symbology that I was getting, and my own personal trigger. So that's another thing to watch for when giving an intuitive reading and interpreting your symbols is this something that is, it also didn't come from the same place. That was a feeling that was in the moment and was not coming from the inner vision. So that's where I screwed that one up. And then the last tip that I have is your symbols are never going to be fear-based. So if you have anxiety, fear, anger, something like that, like a negative emotion attached to it that is activating in some sort, that is not going to be information. Your information is going to be neutral and generally sort of informative. It'll feel informative and not anchored in like a negative feeling, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So those are 6 tips for learning to read the symbols that are coming up in your inner vision to have better intuitive readings. Ah, yes, we have the giveaway. So I've got the bag. Yay! I've got all the names that put comments on the last video in the bag. So we're just gonna shake it and then I will pull one out and we'll see who it is. Who is it? Oh, Louis Baltazar. Hey, I know you. Cool, Louie. You got yourself a bag, hun. Oh, also, I made a recording for myself. It's a guided visualization from a book called A Witch Alone that is about, I mean, any guided visualization is going to hone your inner vision. This one I specifically pulled from as an exercise from A Witch Alone, so I thought I would just offer it out if anybody wants the MP3 recording that I did to take you through a guided visualization to get messages. I would like to offer that up. So you can email me at lhwitches@gmail.com. I'll leave, I don't know what I'll leave. That's lhwitches@gmail.com for that MP3 guided visualization. I wanted to check in with you and see, I've got a list of topics, and I figured I might as well go to you guys and ask you what video might you want to see next. So I've got tea magic and tea blends, working with the Rose of Jericho. I've got a review for yoga for witches. I don't know, or if you have any other suggestions or questions that you want me to do a video on, I'd be happy to. Just let me know. That's it. That's it, I guess. That's it. That's it. So that's what I got for you today. Congratulations, Louie.